Out of the frying pan and into the fire. If you thought things were bad under Helen McEntee's reign of terror as the Minister for Justice for Ireland, well, I would say brace yourselves because you haven't seen anything yet. Here we have the next in line, Jim O'Callaghan, coming out effectively today and admitting that the IPAS system in Ireland is inefficient and ineffective. Did he actually say that? Did he actually come out with those words? Or am I just making this up for a little bit of clickbait? Well, no, you can draw your own conclusions from this one. So this is happening today. Okay, so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we have the so-called Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, saying that an efficient, effective IPAS system is needed. Well, if he's saying that an efficient and an effective IPAS system is needed, well, that confers or infers that the current system is neither efficient nor effective, which is what how many people have been saying for how long? So he's almost admitting it here without coming out and actually admitting it. Ireland needs an efficient and effective system in dealing with applicants seeking international protection, Minister for Justice O'Callaghan has said. And there he is telling us that there's 32,000 people currently in international protection accommodation. 32,000 people in international protection accommodation. 15,000 plus Irish people homeless. Do the mathematics. For every Irish homeless person, according to the government's own figures, there are at least 2 people taking up accommodation that are flooding into the country under the so-called international protection system. 2 to 1, at least, that we know about. Those are the figures. So Callaghan's stressing 32,000 people currently in international protection accommodation, and that the other end of the equation had to be looked at to try and have measures in place that they can try to reduce the applicants coming into the state. It's very simple. It's called closing the borders or not letting anyone in illegally. That would be a start. But that's not what's happening. He said the numbers kept growing or keep growing. And it is not tenable to keep getting more accommodation. Of course it's not. There are no houses. There's a shortfall in houses. A, available, and B, being built. The government are woefully inadequate when it comes to the provision of new housing. Not just for Irish people, but for anybody else that might decide to avail themselves of some good old Irish hospitality. There's not enough accommodation. We need to keep getting more accommodation. Maybe we need to stop letting people in the first instance and kicking people out that have no business being here in the first place. Remember, this is the same Jim O'Callaghan that on Sunday, when addressing the Dublin stabbing incident, said that he thinks that the person in question might have been known to the guards when in fact he was a Brazilian who's been here for several years, technically homeless. What was he doing here in the first place? Why wasn't he deported? No business being here. That's just one person we're talking about. How many other thousands are in that position? O'Callaghan was speaking, listen to this. O'Callaghan was speaking at a ceremony in Dublin, which will see more than 5,000 people becoming new Irish citizens. 5,000 more Irish. Not born in Ireland, not reared in Ireland, but they're Irish now because they've been to a ceremony in Dublin. So now they're Irish. Applicants from over 130 countries. 130 countries coming to Ireland. What's the big attraction with Ireland? What's the big attraction that you would cross continents to come here? What's the big attraction that you would leave your own home and make it all the way over here? Is it money? Is it the future? Is it prospects? Interesting that there's 5,000 people becoming Irish citizens from 130 countries, and at the same time, young Irish people are leaving Ireland because of a lack of prospect and a lack of availability of housing and jobs. The minister said securing Irish citizenship is not an easy passage through, and he doesn't think it's too easy. Well, 5,000 people just today from 130 countries, I would suggest that says otherwise, O'Callaghan. You've got to do more than simply just arrive here. You've got to show your commitment to the state. Commitment to the state. What does that mean? Getting a job, paying your way, paying taxes, contributing to society, integrating into society, embracing Irish culture. Do you have to do those things? Because there's a lot of people here that don't do any of those things. You've got to have a connection here for a considerable period of time. Really? What about that? What about that Brazilian stabber on Sunday? Oh, but he wasn't an Irish citizen. But he wasn't under the international protection scheme. It doesn't matter. He was here. He shouldn't have been here. And if he hadn't have been here, people wouldn't have been maimed and attempted murder. They're saying it wasn't attempted murder. It was just, assault. Well, if somebody comes at me with a knife and tries to slash my throat, I'm going to take that as attempted murder, not assault. I don't think we make it too easy in this country. You have to do a very active vetting program in respect of people who want to become citizens. BS. Well, Callaghan also said people who have been refused international protection should leave the country and said they should be subjected to a deportation order. Really? Is that including the stabber on Sunday? Who's included in this, O'Callaghan? You seem to be very selective when it comes to the application of your own advice. He expects much more orders to be issued this year. Well, I would think so, given the start that we've already had to 2025. No country can adopt a relaxed or casual attitude to its borders or to migration. It's a security issue as well as being a rights issue. A security issue? Yeah, tell that to the people that were stabbed, slashed and attacked in Dublin, or the lady that was slashed or stabbed in Cork. And there was another attack, I believe, yesterday in Galway. And the results of that, nothing I can confirm at this point in time, but let's see what comes out in the wash with that one over the identity of the attacker in Galway yesterday in a place called Ballybrit. He also said Ireland would not be prepared to breach international law in taking any refugees from Gaza. No, don't take them from Gaza, but take them from 130 other countries instead. O'Callaghan said some of the proposals had been advanced recently, forcibly removing people from their homeland. This is talking about Palestine and Gaza. No, we're talking about Ireland here. And just another article that I saw this morning here, this was published in Grip, new data. Non-nationals account for 36% of job seekers' allowance payments. 36%. 1 in every 3 job seekers' payment is coming from a non-national, which means they aren't working. So what are they doing here? Statistics for 2023 issued by the Department of Social Protection on January the 16th this year, so a month ago, show some interesting patterns. Interesting? Yeah, shocking I call it, regarding the proportion of people of different nationalities claiming the various types of welfare payment available through the DSP. 36% of those in receipt of job seekers in 2023 were non-Irish nationals. Well, if they just simply get their Irish citizenship at a ceremony in Dublin, well, then that will help those figures for the government. Maybe that's why all these people are being wafted through. If we get them as Irish citizens, then we can't say that they're non-Irish nationals. It'll make us look a little bit better. Maybe that's the thinking of the government. And the total number of non-nationals in receipt of unemployment benefits had almost doubled to 57,798, call it 58,000 over the same period of time. It is a disaster. There's no other way to put it. And if you think things were bad under that chaos machine, the queen of incompetence, Helen McEntee, well, watch and see what it's going to be like under this Jim O'Callaghan, flip-flopping around already, and we're only into what, January? How long has he been in situ for? Not long. So the figures are there. The figures speak for themselves. What do you think? Am I reading too much into this? Am I being intolerant? Am I being a xenophobe? Am I exhibiting tendencies of someone who's a far-right extremist? Or am I just simply looking around and seeing what the figures are, the official figures, and putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4 instead of 5? Leave me your thoughts, comments, opinions in the comments box below. Share the content, folks. A lot of people watching the channel that are non-subscribers, which is fantastic. A lot of new traffic coming here. But if you like the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. That means you'll be notified when new uploads are coming out, and they're coming out 1 to 2 a day at the minute. So plenty to be getting on with, and cut and paste the link to this video and drop it into whatever group you see relevant, and leave a little thumbs up if you like it, a little thumbs down if you don't. Doesn't matter to me, but get interacting with the channel. And for now, this is me, Rick Munn, No Risk, No Reward Media, over and out.